focus on three things here. Number one, how to leverage existing relationships that can get you in front of a line of business manager. Number two, developing or finding the right salesperson for a line of business opportunity. And number three, how to present your IT solution from a business perspective.
Are brought into the Thomson Reuters world with their own IT environments, their own solutions, and so there's a top-down pressure to try and create leverage around the world globally. And as part of that, having to accommodate local instances, requirements, tax regimes, all kinds of things. So there's a pressure to try and consolidate and get rid of formally organic and perfectly tuned solutions for your particular market, which creates tension within the business because you have to standardize and at the same time continue to deliver your numbers. So from an IT perspective, it is an ongoing challenge. And there's been a number of shifts that we've had to wrestle with.
Yeah, and I agree. I think one of the challenges we face in terms of information is getting data on a timely basis. So speed and trying to how we can close the books, how fast, and how can our solution help us to close the books faster. I think is how do we dissect the data to analyze it in different aspects. It's not the traditional looking at revenue and the revenue line items, but it's dissecting maybe by lines of businesses and how does the system allow us to dissect that easily without keying in different lines of business all the time, because that's a big keying in effort for our team, and we're trying to minimize that and finding efficiencies how we do it, but yet get the data in a quicker time period.
Yeah, from an HR perspective, HR is becoming increasingly regulated profession. And the challenge I feel that exists, not just even if you're a provincially based organization, even nationally based organization, when you start to get into international markets, depending on how you are set up from a corporate perspective, there are different regulatory challenges that you have to be able to address within a timely manner. And so that becomes a challenge because, if you're trying to have an integrated system, how do you keep track of all these different reporting initiatives that are mandatory for different jurisdictions? So that actually can be, sort of like eat away at some efficiencies because it's not necessarily a one-size-fits-all. So that can be quite challenging from an HR systems perspective.
And analyze things better. It's not used to be all about data input. Now it's not about data input. It's about analyzing and understanding what the numbers mean so that we could use that information to make better and faster business decisions going forward. And I think that's sort of what we're looking for, and that's one of the ways that why we're looking at a new ERP system. It was very disjointed. We use it purely as just a GL, whereas everything else was manual key in, which is not very it's not a truly value-added component of our team's work.
That we find in our business that's an ongoing challenge because our original systems were designed to make sure to be able to ship products to the right customer at the right location. Many of our customers are national with offices all over Canada. From a marketing and sales perspective, we often want different kinds of analytics. So the common question is, how much business do we do with customer X? From a billing and shipping perspective, you don't need to know that. It's discrete office by office. So being able to pull disparate data points together and do holistic reporting is sometimes non-trivial.
So it raises the expectation. It's like, before we had, our smartphones and stuff like that, we could ignore our emails because we're not back at the office looking at our laptops. But now there's such an expectation that everything has to happen even before the request has been properly formulated. So, the pressures on HR from a service perspective, I think, are greater than ever before. I think because HR historically has been, unfortunately, purely viewed as an overhead function, as opposed to something that can actually be a profit center and help drive business solutions and help drive the profitability of an organization. That the pressures on HR to actually be, so responsive and quick with getting answers and solutions is really very, very critical.